My name is Chase Johnson. I'm a film director. I'm from Los Angeles, California, and I'm excited to tell you about what I do. When I was coming out here, I was thinking about what is my connection to West Africa? What am I most curious about? You know, my parents never been out here, my grandparents never been out here. And so there was a lot of emotions naturally like coming up. So when I think about West Africa and coming back to Senegal, the first thing that ties me to this place is water. Water is a passage of time. You know, my ancestors left through Gore. Water was what we left as Wolof or Pular or whatever group that we came from, and we became something else. So in returning back, the people who kind of take care of the water and guard the water are the Lebu. And so in order to connect with part of myself and my culture, I want to connect with the people who've been practicing and upholding and being the guardians of this water, and that's the Lebu. They have water spirits. They give rituals and offerings to the water. They were trading with the Portuguese and the French during the slave trade, and they could control what gets to leave and come back into the ports. And so I just wanted to learn about these people. I met a lot of remarkable people, a lot of kind and generous people. Like my first interview was Babacar Chow from Copacabana. We talked about Lebu culture, we talked about water conservation, we talked about the importance of kids seeing themselves in different environments, like seeing African surfing and what that could do to your imagination. I wanted to explore surfers a little bit more, and I thought the piece was going to be more around surfing. But I think that's a very minute process, and that's just an aspect of what I'm exploring out here. I've met Delroy Watt, who's a famous writer, who writes child's books. And he was the reason why we're able to meet Miriam Njai, who's an Ndup priestess. And from having an interview with her and him being the liaison between that kind of conversation, that relationship, I'm able to see an Ndup, which was really transformative and eye-opening. There was a lot of energy the whole time I was watching it. I felt like I had a frog in my throat, like something wanted to come out. And I think more than anything, I've found myself more wedged in this story as well, because I'm starting to see like a juxtaposition between my upbringing and some of the practices that are still being kept here. You know, water has always been a healing element for Africans. You know, if we're dealing with struggles and everyday life issues, water has always been something that heals us. In America, we have that with baptisms and it's through Christianity, but when we emerge out of the water, we feel brand new and we feel purified and we feel like we're being brought back to a sense of stability. And after studying in depth, I got to see that that is really what this is about. Water is healing. So I think in me coming here, like I said, my connection to Africa is through water. Being around all these Lebu and being around nautical activities, I realized that me being around the water it's transforming me too. It's healing me and whatever kind of traumas and baggage I may hold on to from past generations and how we were raised and stuff. So I think my project became a little bit more personalized since I've been here, rather than it being a little removed. And I'm curious to see when I go back to the States and I start journaling and I start pulling archival footage, how do I find myself a little bit more in the story? So I think that's a little bit of how my piece changed. To be honest, I usually like movement in all of my pieces because I think movement embodies immersion and makes you feel like you're with the subject, you're going into the worlds with them. But from this perspective, I'm taking a little voyeur approach. I'm still an outsider still, regardless of what my heritage may be. I'm an outsider. And I want to observe this situation as if I'm just an outsider or just a fly on the wall, passerby, just watching scenes unfold. So it's a lot of static shots to allow us to meditate, allow us to take in life. I'm not trying to impose myself. I'm just trying to see what is. And then from time to time, once I see an image and let's say I see something to the left, I'm like, okay, tripod, let's move this way. And then there's a whole nother scene, a whole other world enveloping to my left, and I just watch it. I don't try to do anything. And there's a few other shots where I embody immersion, like the surf footage that I'm about to do next week. I'm gonna get in the water myself with my camera and just capture the surfing very up close, and there's a lot of movement. Water's gonna be hitting me, but for the most part, everything's still. So we could just see life, see how people get down out here, you know. Being out here in this residency is kind of giving me a challenge for one, but it's also giving me like the confidence to say like, yo, Chase, you could hold the camera, you got your own eye, you got your own vision, you could learn a little bit about the technical side of a camera, and it's helping me sharpen my vision and sharpen my perspective and what I see, and for me to believe in myself a little bit more.